Hey everyone, this is part 3 of my revised Demon Slayer game tutorial. So, this episode we're going to be working on the enemies, so we'll make them follow us and attack us and respawn when they die. And we also want them to only spawn at night. So, we're going to start by making one daemon, and then we're going to put it in server storage and make respawn scripts to respawn the daemon all over the map, and whenever we die. Whenever the daemon dies, it'll respawn. So we'll start by going to plugins, and then build rig, and you can choose R6 or R15, and then block rig. And I'm gonna call this daemon, and then open it up, go to humanoid root part, and make sure you unanchor this over here. Right, and then I'm gonna put this into my attackable folder that I made in the player video. Last week's video, and then I'm just gonna move the move him over here. Alright, so now that we've got our daemon in, we can start scripting. So we're gonna make a server script, and we're gonna call it controller, and then we're gonna make another server script called attack, and then a bindable event called attack remote. So what we're going to do is, in this controller script, we're going to detect if the enemy gets within range of the player, and if it does, then we'll fire the attack remote. We'll detect that in our attack script and then deal damage to the player. So to get started with our controller script, we'll go local humanoid equals script dot parent dot humanoid, go wait child humanoid, and then local root equals script dot parent wait for child humanoid root part, and local spawn pos equals script dot parent wait for child spawn position. And so this spawn position we're going to set up in our respawn script, so we don't need this for now. I'm just going to comment it out. So I just put 2 dashes there so it won't actually run, but later on, once we do our respawn script, we'll uncomment this line, and we'll use that spawn position as like a actually no, what we'll do is we'll in our daemon, we'll make a vector3 value, and we'll call it spawn position, and we can get rid of the comments and just have this line out. So that'll reference this spawn position. Alright, after that, local vision range equals 30. So if the player comes within 30 meters, the enemy will see the player and start following it. Local attack range equals 3. So if the player comes within 3 meters, then actually we'll set that to 5. If the player comes within 5 of the player, then it'll attack. Local abandon range equals 50. So if the player gets 50 meters away, then it'll abandon the player and go back to its spawn position. And then local abandon range from home equals 200. So if the player and the enemy both get 200 meters away from the daemon's spawn point, then the daemon will just return to the spawn point, because we don't want the daemon to like follow the player around the whole map. Alright, so then we'll have a variable called target, and then we can set up our main loop. So I'll go while wait 1 do if target, then so if target is set to something, right now it's not, but if it is, then we're going to do a bunch of calculations and see if we're in range to attack the player. But else, so I'll just comment that in, calculate distance and attack player. Else, so if target is equal to nil, if the daemon isn't currently targeting someone, then we're going to see if any players are in range. Alright, so we'll start with this half of the script, the bottom half. We'll go for I, v in pairs game.players get children do if not game.workspace find first child v.name, then return we'll go then continue end. So if the player is part of the game but their character isn't actually in the workspace, then we're going to exit this iteration of the loop and go back to the start. So continue goes back to the first line in the loop. But if the player is in the workspace, then we'll continue on to the next line. We'll get their character, so local character equals game.workspace v.name. Local player root equals car dot humanoid root part, and then we'll calculate the distance between the enemy and the player, so local distance equals root dot position minus player root dot position, and then dot magnitude, and then local distance from home equals spawn pos dot value minus player root dot position dot magnitude. And then so magnitude just gets the distance between these two, the player root position and the spawn pos position, and the root position and the player root position. There's a more mathematical explanation, but I won't go into that. So here, if distance between the player and the enemy is less than vision range, so if the player is within vision, and the distance from home is less than the abandon range from home, then we're going to print that we're targeting v.name. So it'll say targeting DvZoid for me, and then we'll set the target variable to car. Alright, so if there is a target, as we assign it here, we assign target. So if target exists, then we're going to see if we're in range to attack the player. So go local player root equals target dot humanoid root part, and local distance. We can actually copy this, so Control C and Control V, and then we'll go humanoid move to, so we're moving the enemy to player root dot position minus cframe dot new root dot position player root dot position dot look vector times attack range. So this line of code basically makes it so if the player and the enemy are within attack range of each other, then they won't the enemy won't come any closer, and if the player moves closer to the enemy will back off a bit. So that just means if you're if you've got an enemy in the workspace and it can't like cram up with you, and it can't go on your head, and the player can't go on the enemy's head, because there was an issue with my previous enemy script where the player could ride on the enemy's heads and just like go anywhere on top of the enemy head and not take damage. So yeah, that's what this line of code will do. After that, we'll go if distance is less than or equal to attack range, then script dot attack remote fire player root. Actually what we'll do is we'll set attack range back to 3, and then we'll just add a plus 2 here, or yeah, plus 2. So that just means the humanoid comes within attack range, but it doesn't need to be exactly in that attack range to deal damage. Otherwise, you'd have to be exactly 3 units apart, and there wouldn't be any leeway, sort of. So it would be very precise for the enemy to be able to attack the player. So yeah, after that we'll go if distance is greater than abandon range, then we'll abandon the target. So we'll print abandoning target, and then we'll set target to nil, and we're going to move the humanoid back to the spawn position. Alright, and then we can just duplicate this, so Control C, Control V, and we'll go if distance from home is greater than abandon range from home, then we'll do the same thing. So that's how controller script's done. That handles the enemy moving towards players. So now we can move on to the attack script. So here we'll detect when the remote is picked up, is fired. So go script.parent .attack remote .event connect function player root. So in our control script we actually need to oh yeah, we did do that. So we fire with player root as a parameter. So we'll just set up a few variables actually before this in the attack script. So we'll go local attack cooldown equals 1, local attack wind up equals 0.5. So that'll just mean when the enemy comes within range, it'll wind up for 0.5 seconds. So it gives the player 0.5 seconds to react to the enemy starting to attack, and they can react accordingly, maybe dash away or something. And then after the enemy's attacked, then it'll be 1 second before they can attack again. So after this, local attack range equals 3, so just make sure that's the same as in this script here, attack range. And then local attack damage equals 20. You can set this to whatever you want. I think 20 is a good number. After that, local character equals script.parent.parent, and local humanoid equals car weight child humanoid. And finally, local original walk speed equals humanoid.walk speed. Yeah. So what this variable is what the humanoid's walk speed is originally. It's in the name. So what we're going to be doing in this script here is we're going to set humanoid.walk speed to 0.1, and then that just means while the enemy's attacking, it can't follow the player, so it can't move as it's like winding up its attack. You can just leave this out if you want. You can just comment it out or delete the line, but I'm going to leave it in. It's set to 0.1 instead of 0, so that the enemy can still look in the direction of the player, because the humanoids always look in the direction that they're walking in. So if it's walking 0.1 meters, 0.1 walk speed towards the player, it'll appear as if it's not moving, but it'll face the player. And after that, we'll just go wait attack cooldown, and then we can set humanoid.walk speed back to original walk speed. So yeah, that's the walk speed part of it done. Before this, we're gonna have a variable called can attack. So local can attack equals true. So just be like a cooldown that so that we can't attack multiple times in the same second. We'll go if not can attack, then return end. So if can attack is false, then we'll return out of the we'll get out of the function and not run any lines after it. But if can attack is true, then we'll set can attack to false. And then over here, after we've waited attack cooldown, we can set can attack back to true. Yeah, so then in here, we'll go wait, attack, wind up, and then we're going to recalculate the distance. So if the player has moved out of range of the enemy in the time that it's taken the enemy to wind up, then we're going to have to detect that and not deal damage. We're going to calculate the new distance, which is equal to character dot humanoid roots part dot position minus player root dot position dot magnitude, and then if new distance is less than or equal to attack range, and then we'll give a bit of leeway here, we'll add like 5, then we'll actually check if the player is blocking. So if you look over in our player scripts from last episode, we've got this is blocking value. So we'll check if player root dot parent dot player, so dot player will be this player script, and then dot is blocking dot value is equal to true, then attack damage times equals 0.5. This will just make the attack damage half because it times as attack damage by 0.5. That just halves the damage. And after that, we'll go player root dot parent dot humanoid colon take damage attack damage. And yeah, that's it. So that's our attack script. Our demon should work now. Actually, one more thing we'll do is we'll add an animation to this attack. So we'll add the animation over here. So we'll go local anim equals instance dot new animation, anim dot animation id equals rbx asset id colon // and then I've got this animation ID here, demon punch. We'll just copy that and paste it in here, and then we'll go local play anim equals go humanoid colon load animation anim, and then we'll go play anim colon play. Yeah, so that's the animation, and we'll also add some like walk animations to it. So I've actually got a model from my previous demon video. It's called animate. I'll link this in the description. So we'll just get this animate script and put it inside the demon. So when we test this, everything should be working. Okay, so there's our demon over there. You can see it's like got an idle animation currently. We'll move closer to it and it should start targeting us. So it says targeting DvZoid and it starts moving towards us. Actually what we'll need to do is this might cause a bit more lag, but I'm gonna get rid of this wait one because from testing it doesn't actually lag as much, that much, because calculations we're doing here aren't like that heavy on the server. Unless we've got like maybe 100 enemies, then maybe it would start lagging. But it starts lagging even if you don't have any scripts inside the 100 enemies anyway. So alright, so we've got our demon here. We'll walk up to it. It starts targeting us. And yeah. So if we get too far away from its spawn position, actually we'll show you the attack. So I stop. And humanoid root part is not a valid member. Let's see. But yeah, you will be able to see that it's the 0.1 attack speed is making it. Yeah. It's just a typo. So we'll go here. Yeah. Simple typo. Alright. And just third time. walk up to the demon, start targeting us, and then come up to it, and it should attack us. There's the punch, but we had our shield up, so it didn't work. So it'll attack, and there we took damage. But if it's winding up and we dash away, you saw we didn't take damage, even though the demon actually did its attack. So yeah, we just got too far away from it, so it's going to return to its spawn position, which right now is 0-0, but later on we'll set their spawn position to what they actually spawned at. So yeah, there's our demon working, and what we can do is just cut this and then put it into server storage with our katana model, and we'll just this will just be for easy access. We can duplicate this demon all over the map. So to start here, I'm gonna make a new folder in the workspace called demon spawns, and this folder is basically just gonna be a folder full of parts where like invisible parts where the demons where we want the demons to spawn at. So I'm just going to move this up into the air a bit so the demons don't clip into the floor when they spawn. And I'm going to set transparency to 1. I'm going to set anchored to true and can collide to false. And then we can just Control D to duplicate this and just move it around the map a bit. There we go. And so these are going to be our demon spawns. It's going to be where all our demons can spawn. So we're gonna make a script now to spawn demons on the part. So inside this script, we're gonna call it respawn, and inside here, we're gonna get local server storage. Game colon get server storage, and then local demon equals server storage, colon wait for child demon colon clone, and then we'll set the demon dot humanoid root part dot position to the scripts. The part over here, position, script.parent.position. And then we'll go local spawn pos equals demon colon wait for child spawn position, and spawn pos dot value equals script.parent dot position, and then and then we've got local respawn time equals 15, and then after that we can set demon dot parent to game dot workspace dot attackable, and yeah, so we actually want the demon to only spawn at night, so it's more true to the anime. So what we're gonna do is get the lighting service. So local lighting equals game colon get service lighting, because if you look in lighting over here, you see we've got a property called clock time, so we can use that to get what the time is. So right now it's set to 15. That's 3 in the afternoon, just like 24-hour time. So then before we set the demon.parent to the workspace, then we want to check if the time is greater than a certain amount or less than a certain amount. So we're going to define 2 variables, local night start and local night end. So we want the night to start at 6 PM, so that would be 18, and we want the night to end at 6 AM, which is 6. And then we can just have a repeat, so we'll go repeat wait 1 until lighting.clockTime is greater than night start, or lighting.clockTime is less than night end. And then over here, then if that's true, it'll go on and set the demon's parent to game.workspace.attackable. So then over here we can go demon.humanoid dot health changed colon connect function new health, and then we'll go if new health is less than or equal to 0. So this just detects if the daemon's died. If our enemy has died, then we'll go daemon colon destroy, and then we'll wait respawn time. Wait respawn time, and then we'll go script dot disabled equals true, and then script dot disabled equals false. So if you disable script and then re-enable it, it basically just starts again from line 1, and then it'll go through all of this. It'll wait until it's night, and then it'll set the daemon's parent to the workspace dot attackable. That's our respawn script, but right now it'll only work for this one part. So what we could do is duplicate this script to all our other parts. But what if we want to make a change in our respawn script? Then we've got to open up every single script in every single daemon spawn location and make the same change in all scripts. So what we can do instead is make a new script in the workspace, and we're gonna call this respawn script duplicator. Actually, I'll just call it daemon respawning. Yeah, and then we can move this respawn script to this daemon respawning script. We'll disable it, and then in our daemon respawning script, we'll just go local respawn script equals script dot respawn, and local parts equals game dot workspace dot daemon spawns colon get children. That'll just get all of these parts in a table, and then we'll use a for loop to loop through all the parts. So for IV in pairs parts do local respawn equals respawn script colon clone respawn for IV in pairs respawn dot parent equals v, and then respawn dot disabled equals false. So I'll just duplicate this respawn script to all of these parts. So right now we've made it so that daemons can only spawn at night, so I'll just show you that. Right now it's daytime, so if we press play, we'll just make sure there's no bugs anywhere else. So if we open up workspace, daemon spawns, you'll see that all of these parts have the respawn script in it, but no daemons are spawning, and that's because it's daytime. But if we stop and we set the time in lighting service, if we set the time to, let's say, 10 PM, and then we press play, then our daemons have all spawned in their respawn location. So I'll just show you that their spawn abandoning works. So if I dash away from the daemon, it'll abandon me and goes back to its spawn position over there. So yeah. So the spawning at night only works, but we want a daylight cycle because Roblox doesn't have a daylight cycle by default. So we're gonna have to make a new script in server script service. This will be the last script of the video. We'll call it day-night cycle, and in here we'll go. It's a pretty short script. Local lighting equals game colon get service lighting, and then we'll go while wait one do lighting colon set minutes after midnight to lighting colon get minutes after midnight, and then we'll go plus 10. So this will just make it so every second 10 minutes will pass. But something more realistic would be maybe 1. So every second 1 minute will pass. But for testing purposes, I'm setting it to 10, so that every second 10 minutes pass. So then down here in lighting, I'm gonna set time to 16, so 4 p.m. And then we just gotta wait for 4 hours in game to pass, and then our demons will spawn. So we'll press play, and you can already see it's getting darker by the second. If you look in lighting, clock time is slowly going up. So it's almost 18, and there it's 18 o'clock, and all our demons just spawned. So yeah, that's it for today's video. Actually, one more thing. If you want to make it so that the demon dies at when it becomes day, you'd do a similar check to in our respawn script over here. But instead you'd do, if lighting.clock time is less than night start or greater than night end. So if it's daytime, that'll check if it's daytime. Then you can just do daemon colon destroy. So there'll just be a new script inside of daemon. So I'll leave that to you. If this was helpful in any way, if this video was helpful in any way, then I'd appreciate a like and a sub. It helps keep me motivated to continue these series and make more videos just like this one. And until next time, see ya.